Over the years, the United Nations, with other subsidiaries such as the United Nations Economic and Social Councils, United Nations Rescue, and non-governmental organizations across the world, have come a long way in solving issues that deter the development of mankind. The UNESCO, under the umbrella of the United Nations through its convener, Ambassador Steve Madallo, revealed through a briefing held at the National Union of Journalists, Abuja, unveiled plans and strategy set in place for the good people of Africa. As the International Director for Development and Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Steve spoke at length about the United Nations mandate focused on 2021 to 2030 Action Program on Eradication of Extreme Poverty and Hunger. He also stated that the Big Brother Nigeria is a litmus test seen to bring in development in Nigeria. Top among most of the project overseen by the UNESCO is also the introduction of affordable housing schemes targeted to individuals, including those at the grassroots, and the total eradication of hunger through feeding programs, especially in the IDP camps within the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria.
We also know and are aware that in Nigeria, especially where I come from, northern Nigeria, poverty works on its two legs. There are people that go out from 6 a.m. and they don't come back to their houses until another 6 p.m. But they cannot save 1,000 naira every day. It's not possible because of the level of poverty that is troubling them. Now, United Nations established that program to try and see how they could alleviate global citizens from poverty. And so they call it Millennium Development Goals. And since the year 2000, going forward, United Nations has been doling out funds through different agencies, through NGOs, through governments sometimes. And in other climes, these funds were able to be utilized judiciously and actually lift out a number of millions and billions of people around the globe out of poverty. We also initiated a project to deliver affordable housing. Being an engineer, I'm aware that my country has a deficit of not less than 22 to 25 million housing deficit. And even though we have the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, which is saddled with the responsibility of delivering quality and affordable houses and also providing loans for Nigerians who are 18 years and above, I'm sure some of us don't even know. Most Nigerians I've interacted with don't even have that information. They don't know that there is a bank that the government established to give them housing loan, just like it's obtainable abroad. Once you are 18 years and above, you are qualified for the housing loan. All you need to do is be a contributor to the scheme, National Housing Scheme. And even the person hawking pure water on the street can do that. The vulcanizer, where you park your car and pump, to say pump my tire, you should be able to save minimum 5,000 naira in a month, and then take it forward as his own contribution and obtain this loan. Minimum is 5 million, maximum is 15 million. I'm talking about Federal Mortgage Bank loan now. But because it's not well funded, and Nigeria is a country of over 200 million people today, that is the statistic. We don't know whether it's official now. So the funds are not enough. The Federal Mortgage Bank cannot afford to give every Nigerian housing loan. And so we decided on our own to initiate an affordable housing project to deliver at least 10,000 housing units across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria. And we insist on the best of the best of the best by giving you houses that will last you minimum 1,000 years, using a technology that I have personally understudied in Stockholm, Sweden, established by one of our international Nobel ambassadors, Sir Roger Eriksson. Is an inventor of the given system, building system. And our idea is to do a technology transfer, establish factories here in Nigeria, and train our people, and dispatch them, deploy them to all the 6 geopolitical zones where they can be useful to our communities to oversee this project from 0 to 100%. While we are at that, coronavirus struck and taught us a big lesson, all of us. Nigerians are used to going for medical tourism in India, in UK, in US, Canada, depending on where they can afford. And with coronavirus, lockdown was setting. And because of the lockdown, time came, even if you're the president, well, if you're president, maybe you can be given some kind of concession, or consideration. But time came, even if you are a senator, you are a minister, you are a governor, you can't travel abroad. And we have less than 5% that can actually afford to travel abroad for medical health care. So we are like, why don't we make our 6 geopolitical zones a medical hub, even if it's just for West Africa, and our states in the 6 geopolitical zone. For instance, Sweden, where I live, the population is just 9.7 million people. Maybe with international citizens like myself, staying with them, we look at maybe 10 million people. But here in Nigeria, we have cities like Kano and Lagos, where you have more than 10 million people. But the medical facilities are not enough. So we are like, why don't we build a 1,000-bed hospital in each of these 6 geopolitical zones? And anywhere we're building this 1,000-bed hospital, 500 of these beds will be dedicated to women and children because they are the most vulnerable in the society. For instance, in Northeast, where I said I come from, when they is attacked by the insurgents, they will take out the men. And so the women and children are left fatherless without their breadwinners. So we are like, excuse me, why don't we build these hospitals in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, and we are looking at cities that have international airports, so that from any state in those zones you're coming from, if you want to fly, you can access them.
Well, yes, there's always a challenge one way or the other. First of all, is that the policies implemented by the government reach the grassroots of these women. I know that there are policies and farmings, I know that there are loans, I know that there are what they call it, funds put together by the government for farming to make the farmer's life easier, where a rural woman will be able to partake in that funding. But the information does not get to the grassroots. So I think that's one of the challenges that we're having.
I have my ID card, you can see. One as an International Director for Foreign Affairs Africa. It's from United Nations, and you can see the United Nations total chairman for UN ECOSOC is the one that signed it, you know. Here you can see my ID card as the global chairman for UN Rescue, you know. And then here you can see my ID card as international chairman for security and intelligence under the United Nations Economic and Social Council. You know, we have a committee, national committee on eradication of extreme poverty and hunger, headed by His Excellency Ambassador Ibrahim Shehu, and so it's their work to carry out thorough investigation. Actually, we are not actually insisting that this person is entitled and this person is not entitled. Honestly, sir, we are covering every part of the country. Like I said, all the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, all the 774 local governments are going to benefit from this project. So we don't actually have a targeted number of people. It's just a project that is starting this year, and going forward, it will be a revolving package. It will be a revolving package. So this is the first phase, and from the first phase, if you don't have a allocation from the first phase, expect allocation from the second or third or even fourth or fifth or even 10th phases. That's why we insist that this one is private initiative, 100% private. If I can say 1,000,000% private, we don't expect government to come here and be interfering, because even areas where government cannot give us land, we secure these lands from private individual landowners, and we pay them for it. In fact, we have had landowners coming forward to say they want to donate their land. Even in Kurudu here in Abuja, last week I received 50,000 hectares, 50 hectares of land through Professor John here. You know, I'm even here to pay a courtesy visit to thank the paramount ruler.
Ahmed Zainab, Voice TV, Nigeria.